I'd like to welcome everybody to the Mob Candy Magazine Show. I'm Frank DiMatteo, and today we'll be going over the magazine, how it became what it is today. With me today is Chris Chiramonte and Al Linea. So to my right, we got Chris. Chris, explain who you are and tell them what you do for the magazine.
I am the editor-in-chief and CMO. I'm the chief marketing officer. I'm the one that tells everybody about the magazine. I write articles. I edit the articles. I'm one of the bosses here.
How you doing, everybody? I'm Al Linea. I met Frankie after The Sopranos ended, and we've been friends ever since. I'm an actor, writer from Brooklyn. We're all Brooklyn boys. This is a Brooklyn magazine.
Yes, we are. We got Mike Benson here,
work, Mike.
author of Gangsters
versus Nazis.
Versus Nazis,
which I find as a fascinating
great book.
There it is. There it is. I can't wait to read it.
Yeah, it's a really great book.
Although the reason I'm here is because
I almost forgot about you, Mike.
I'm Frank's co-author.
And he also co-author of mine.
Yeah. He wrote a book called Lying in the Basement, which he wrote it himself. You could tell.
Yeah, you could tell.
And it's great. I mean, just he's a classic, fantastic storyteller. No knowledge of the English language whatsoever.
Not at all.
So you had people.
I'm so glad somebody said it.
Thank you. Had people who really loved it, like a Clockwork Orange. It's kind of in a different language, but it's great. But Kensington Books saw it as a diamond in the rough. So you translate this into the King's English, and people in Kansas will read it.
Yeah.
So that was my first job with Frank, and worked out okay.
Worked out okay. What, 6
and
books
since
now?
then, we've done 6 books.
6. Yeah. But Mike writes on his own, and he has a great book out right now.
Excuse me for reaching.
Yes, he's a great book right now that's doing really well, and that's what...
It's called Gangsters versus Nazis.
Explain to us, Mike.
Yeah. It takes place during the Great Depression. Everybody in America was poor, and it's easy in those circumstances to make scapegoats. And the Nazis, who were already in parts of big cities in America, decided they were going to blame the Jews. So they had parades going down the street, goose-stepping and Sieg Heiling, and carrying signs saying, basically, let's get rid of the Jews. They're the reason why we're all poor. And people believed it because they were looking for answers. And they came to New York City, and they had a parade down 86th Street in Yorkville. And a guy by the name of Judge Nathan Perlman, New York City judge, Jewish man, just was appalled. And he had a couple of cocktails, sat in a bar, and finally he made a phone call. He did not call. He didn't call Mayor LaGuardia. He didn't call his congressman. He called Meyer Lansky, who, as a lot of people know, all-time #1 GOAT Jewish gangster. And he said, Meyer, you have any boys who might want to punch a Nazi? And Meyer said, with all due respect, Judge, we can do better than punch. And Judge said, no. We can't have you killing people because then the police will have to do something and you'll lose the moral high ground. People will turn against you and the Nazis will seem like the sympathetic characters. So okay, just brawls. So he gets the Jewish members of Murder, Inc. And by the way, Lucky Luciano said, you can use the Italian guys too if you want. And Lansky said, no, it's our fight. We're doing this for our brothers who are suffering in Europe. And boy, they were.
Wow. I had no idea.
So the next time there's a German-American Bund meeting at the Yorkville Casino, Meyer Lansky and the boys from Murder, Inc. are out on the street, and he's handing out American Legion hats because Anastasia used to put Chicago hats on his hitmen, and then they would throw it on the street on their way out, and the New York police would say, we think that a team came in from Chicago. And meanwhile, the actual killers are at Midnight Rose's candy store in Brownsville. Mm-hmm. So they went in with the American Legion hats. They kicked the out of all the Nazis. Nazis are in the emergency room, broken legs, broken noses, big lumps on their head. And on the way out, they lose the American Legion hats. The next day, you read the New York Times, big fight between Nazis and American Legion guys. American Legion guys didn't like the Nazis either because they'd fought in World War I, didn't like the idea of the Germans getting aggressive again.
Exactly.
So what happens is the Nazis move over to Newark, New Jersey. They cross the river to get away from LaGuardia, who by this time says, no more of that. And there's Longgees Wellman, Abner Longgees Wellman, former, by the way, I think Judge Perlman knew these guys not because of the justice system, but because he was a drinking man. And during Prohibition,
From the bars.
every single gangster that Perlman called had been a bootlegger. I don't think it's a coincidence. Right. So Abner Longgees Wellman takes over the job in Newark, has a bunch of Jewish boxers and other tough guys. They're called the Minutemen. You have a Nazi meeting, we'll be there in 60 seconds, beat the crap out of them. In Chicago, they had another set of boxers, and one of the guys who beat up Nazis in Chicago was a guy by the name of Jacob Rubenstein, who later became infamous in 1963 as Jack Ruby. And then out in California, there was Mickey Cohen and Bugsy Siegel. They caused a riot outside of the Brauhaus, where the Germans were having their meetings. And what happened was each week the meeting would have fewer and fewer Germans because the wives, you come home with a broken nose. No, next Wednesday you're going to go bowling.
Yeah, you're not going back.
Not going back there. And it kept it down, kept it underground.
Wow.
And until Pearl Harbor, of course, changed everything.
And your book basically brought light to all this. It was happening right under, I'm surprised that the press didn't, have a field day on this.
The press was fooled initially.
Right. Of course.
And luckily, they always brought along a scribe. Like in New York, we know what happened because Judd Teller, who was a reporter for the Jewish newspaper, was allowed to tag along. In Chicago, it was a guy by the name of Herb Bryn, who not only wrote about it later, but he infiltrated himself, the German-American Bund, because he could pass for Gentile. And when they decided they weren't going to publicly announce where their meetings were going to be anymore because tough guys were showing up, they would find out where it was anyway because he would go and squeal to Jack Ruby.
Yeah.
So, and in a way, Meyer Lansky helped save America.
True.
And you know what's crazy? Even Luciano during World War II,
Right?
Was
when
instrumental.
he got deported back to Italy, didn't he assist
Absolutely.
the Americans?
Right.
And from what I understand and what I've heard, like through
True, Pete.
like my grandparents in Sicily, basically because they were all clans down there.
All
the
clans.
Cosa Nostra in Sicily is like
All
real
clans.
deal. You know what I mean?
It's not
all
organized.
clans.
They're groups.
Yeah, and they didn't want them to resist.
Right.
So they said, let the Americans in, because they came through my town, where my parents were born. And they came in through the town, and then they worked their way up north.
Right.
So as they came through Sicily,
They told him no
Luciano
resistance.
told, all these Cosa Nostra clans not to resist
Right.
the Americans.
That's exactly what they did.
They're not going to hurt you. Just let them fight and
The
And that
Italians
was-
were going
that was
paisan.
big.
By paisan, they were coming in. They were cousins and
Yeah,
family
sure.
in Brooklyn at the time.
imagine so the
So-
mob
That's
Was
so
very
the
instrumental
mob-
on. I think that was on. What's island they hit? Where in Sicily they landed?
Oh,
Oh God.
all over. Messina.
Messina was very.
Yeah.
it's on the side from North Africa.
Yeah, yeah. and it-
Yeah, that's where
Yeah,
that's where
Luciano.
my town is, Agrigento.
Yeah.
That's
Yes.
I'm sorry. That's
Lucia-
where my
yeah,
town is.
town is.
But
They came right into
we're
there.
90 miles away from Africa.
Right.
And that's what
So-
people don't realize, when dealing with Mob Candy magazine. I mean, we put the Gangsters versus Nazis.
We did an article.
We did an article on it,
When you
which
first-
is fantastic.
Didn't you release the book yet? I think we just before you
Yeah,
released
I
it.
Probably,
think you gave us an exclusive.
Yeah, we got jumped right on it. We jumped on it. We
But
did an article.
again, between writers and different types. If I remember, there was wine that was mob related that wanted to be in the magazine eventually. It was cigar.
we had cigars.
that
we had
was a-
Soprano
it's
wine,
everything.
Soprano soda.
Yeah.
We had everything. Guys
Absolutely.
sending us cigars. Guys sending us Sopranos, Mob Candy cigars.
Mob Candy magazine is it now? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's been it for a while. It's just, now we got a talk show.
You know, I met Meyer Lansky
Oh, yeah?
in Miami.
Well, tell me.
We were doing something shady. We needed some help. Meyer was still strong down there. It was about a year or two before he died. And what happened was we needed some trucking. We met him at the cricket club, and he did a favor for us, and that's how I met him. I had lunch with him at the cricket club.
Organizational genius.
Yes, he was old. He was just before he died. I can't remember what year it was, but whatever. If you remember what year he died, it was right before that.
The brilliance of the five-family system is that it accounts not only for turf in New York City, but turf back in Sicily as well.
Yeah, he was
It's,
brilliant.
it's just, yeah.
He carried a big stick even then. I
Yeah.
mean, they were catering to him, and it was like he had one leg in the grave, and the other one on a banana peel, and they were treating him well. I mean, that's how I met Maya. I mean, it was an honor meeting him. He was very nice, treated me well.
He was never happier than when he wasn't a criminal.
Really?
Running his casino in Cuba.
Yeah.
He was just, not
No, he was big in Miami. He was all over Miami. They had clubs in Hollandale Beach.
Right.
They had clubs all over. I did some homework when I was
Carpet
down there.
joints, right?
Yeah, he had casinos all over the place, man. He was big out there. He was big
But
out-
think about this though, right? Right, Meyer Lansky, he created like the structure. Well, Luciano, the structure
Sure.
of the
Of
the
the
mob,
organization, yeah.
right?
Yeah.
The commission,
Pretty much.
the bosses. He created that whole
Which
thing.
stuck till this day.
And here's the other thing, as far as like, because all the gambling, because that's
that was his bit.
that was his thing.
He was a number guy.
Gambling.
He knew numbers, man.
The betting, the sports, and now who runs all of that?
The government.
Government. Yep.
Well, they
Government.
learned off
every
us.
racket
That
that
was illegal.
Lansky created with the mob
And
is
listen-
now run
By the government.
By the U.S. government.
This is
100%.
that we did an article on that. You spoke
That's
about
crazy.
how that everything that the mob does to make money ends up getting called illegal, and then the government ends up making it legal somehow, whether it be
Well, they-
meters, parking meters,
OTB,
OTBs,
numbers,
everything.
everything.
the
drugs.
daily number, the
Daily
number.
drugs.
They
Even
learned
drugs.
from the boys, and they turned it legal.
all
They
legal
want
now.
it for themselves,
Yeah.
But that again, back to Mob Candy magazine. That's basically it. It's like no typical story about Meyer Lansky. It's Meyer Lansky article with a twist and all the stuff. I mean, I'm fascinated by the Nazi and
he personally
and mob
dropped
ties
a Nazi
together.
out of the second story window of
Yeah.
Garfield Casino. The guy broke his leg on the sidewalk.
Unbelievable. And the candy, cannot forget the candy.
Absolutely not.
We got the candy right here.
We don't. But let's finish up with you. Let's talk about
Our most recent book.
Most recent book.
That's true.
Well,
Red Hook.
Frank had an idea a few years back. It didn't get used the first time, but the next time we were going up for discussing what we're going to write for our new subject, I brought it back into play. Red Hook. The book is about the history of the neighborhood rather than any particular individual, with a big emphasis, of course, on organized crime, because that's what we do, but other stuff as well. It functions like a James Michener book. It goes all the way back to the Lenape Indians getting wiped out by the Dutch, and that's the first time blood gets spilled there.
Right.
It goes through the White Hand, the Irish mob, Al Capone.
Would you
coming
say
in.
Red Hook was the start of the mob in Brooklyn?
Yes. Yeah, sure, because
gotta
that's where
be.
the docks are.
The docks. It was first developed. That's the first development in Brooklyn. So I was off the water. So it's got to be there. I mean,
Did they even call it Red Hook back then?
Yes.
That's what original name is. Yeah, that's the original name. We didn't call it Red Hook. We called it South Brooklyn. That's what I
South
would know.
Brooklyn,
Somebody
right.
said, "Where you from?" You should say downtown, and everybody knew where you were from.
Well, that
So-
book's taking the the charts by storm right now.
Me and Mike's gonna be doing other books real soon.
Well, they fell in
So
love with you.
Yeah, of course. Well, because
And let's-
it's my flavor, but he cleans it up. He adds like
I mean, both
I
these.
write a story in 1,000 words. He has to make it 40,000 words.
And you
That's
see
what he
what's
does,
happened
you know what I
within
mean?
the last year. You're talking about National Geographic. You must have been on 10 TV documentaries.
Yeah, I did a lot.
From the
Yeah, I did a lot.
Frank DiMatteo
I did a
and
lot.
Michael Benson.
Frank becomes a star. We all win.
That's
The
what,
expert.
That's what it is. But
Mob expert.
But let's get together after this is over and sit down and brainstorm and see what we're going to do.
We have a couple of new projects we're going to have to start in on.
I'm ready.
And we do have a book on Gambino coming
And then we have
out
a
this
book
year.
coming out this next year, right?
I think it's this year. Or
Yeah.
maybe beginning of next
On
year.
Carlo Gambino.
what's
So-
it called?
Called
Gambino?
Gambino, Boss of Bosses.
Yeah, we have a book coming out.
That's what
So
they
And
always
this
say.
one, that's all about Carlo Gambino.
yeah,
We're gonna put that in the mob again.
yeah, it's all about Carlo.
Another
and all
fellow
that.
you met.
I met Carlo too. Yeah, I spent a whole summer with him in.
He liked you.
75 or
The
something
good
like that.
thing,
He
too.
liked me. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's in the book.
Yep.
I spent a whole summer in Tano Marino's Dixie Tavern with him.
What else is candy related? You know, food,
But it'd all be in the magazine, so
right?
it'd be all fun.
The food that the mob eats.
Talk about food. We got a food guest, right?
We do.
Hey, John.
John from
Come in, John.
from Pizza
John.
Heaven.
here.
Top
There's
5 foods that they eat. I got you know. I'm just curious.
It's got to be seafood, man.
Yeah.
Seafood. Most wise guys definitely, especially the old school ones, have to have their pasta every day.
Pasta every day.
No, it's-
He said the
it's
wine was fresher. He said the
It's
pasta
different.
was fresher.
The grapes, the pasta. Most
Yeah.
people, a lot of
Yeah.
the wives make it fresh, so
Yeah.
it's a little different.
He said he like a pig and then put a
Right.
pound on it. He says over here he eats half that. And,
Right.
you know, he said really fresh. He loves it out there. He's leaving in back in April.
What I do like is our meats here.
Do they?
Meats overseas are horrible.
Yeah, he
Oh,
mentioned
yeah.
about me.
Meats
You're
are
right.
I
They
agree.
call
I
it
was-
a beefsteak. Yeah, it's flank steak. It's
it's
tough.
terrible.
I'm just
Terrible.
curious
I was-
why. Why
Because it's not a big meat country. I
way
mean,
they
it's-
raise
It's all
the-
fish and pasta.
Fish and
It's
pasta,
all
vegetables.
Fish and
Right,
pasta,
right,
vegetable.
right.
But when you remember when I shot that movie in Rome?
Yes.
A couple of years ago.
right.
And all it was every night pizza, pasta, fish, 3 times a day,
Right.
7 days a week.
Yeah.
For a month, I gained like 32 pounds, man.
And,
And
pizza
wine.
in it,
And wine.
wine is delicious, and the pizza in Italy is horrible. I don't
Is
care
it?
what any. Oh yeah, it's absolutely horrible.
So now, how do you start
Exactly.
cooking now? Let us know what you do.
I own a pizzeria in right by Chris,
Right.
in Sayreville. Got into food. Oh God, ever since I was a kid with my mom. Every Sunday she would cook, and was my brother and I, and we were right next to her. You know, learning how to cook. It's a passion. It's a joy. It's a love. When
So-
they say you're cooking with love, you have to. So you could tell. If
could tell the
somebody-
difference. She
You
probably
could tell the difference. Absolutely.
Cooks for you or really cooks for
Right.
you.
Absolutely.
You don't eat red sauce usually.
No, I
from-
eat red sauce.
what don't you eat out usually out?
Oh, red
No,
sauce.
Red. That's
I don't eat meatballs
you
out.
don't eat red sauce
I don't
out,
eat
but
red
he,
sauce out
but he
too
eats
much.
your red sauce.
Really?
Yes.
When I
Yes.
went to first time I went in there, and I remember saying to you, this was the closest, if not better, than all the pizzas that
Yeah.
I've eaten in
It was
Brooklyn.
good. Any special pies or something like that?
A special pie, my favorite, the one that I made myself, made up myself, is I make my own hot honey. It's pizza has evolved from years ago. I make my own hot honey, and I have charred pepperoni cups
Okay.
on a very thin Sicilian,
Okay.
and that's a killer. The other one is the sesame seed margarita, but I put a little twist to it. I use vodka sauce instead of margarita sauce on that. That's a really big seller.
I think
I always thought it
food
was
places and stuff like that are huge when it comes to the mob. They were always getting together, having their meetings at
Food is very
places
important
all over the
to
world. You know what I'm
mobsters.
saying?
Everything was done over food. You got killed over food.
Yeah.
You made peace over food.
It's true.
You made deals over food. I mean, if you think about a lot of gangsters throughout history that got killed in restaurants.
right.
I don't want to go into right now. Read the book or read the magazine. But you want to tell us where the
Pizzeria
is?
Pizzeria is in Sayreville, New Jersey,
Yeah.
right on Washington Road. Come in. We serve
Pizza Heaven, right?
It's Pizza Heaven, just like if you were in Brooklyn.
What's
Same
your
time,
hours?
yeah.
We're there from 10 to 10.
You're the mob
absolutely.
candy food guy now.
Yes,
As long
yes,
as I
yes.
get a free slice of pizza.
And the candy of the ultimate candy of candy, and really, let's be really honest, the reason why most men
Buy the
read the
magazine.
Mob Candy magazine and buy the Mob Candy magazine, it's the women, it's the girls, and Yana will be gracing the next magazine. How you feel about that?
Oh, amazing. I'm feeling extremely excited, you can tell. It's probably, I think, the only magazine I would really, really love to be in because I have so many ideas.
Oh, I love
And
it.
when you put women and weapons all together, I don't know what can be sexy.
Yeah, she's a
Are
half
you
a
always-
she's a half a hooligan.
Oh
Yeah.
my God!
I have so many
So
favorite
you have
weapons
stories
too.
too. So you maybe write an article too.
Yeah. I'd love
You
to.
tell the
I
article?
actually write too.
Okay. So we'll get you to write an article.
Yeah, I can collaborate.
All right. And I don't like
So-
that. You're partial to tattoos. You got a lot of
Yeah, I
tattoos.
love them.
Let me see your tattoos.
It's all my work. It's my
She
hobby.
does the work herself too.
It's my hobby.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. I try to pierce myself in my free time
Oh, fantastic.
yeah,
to
she's,
deal with everyday life, you know.
yeah,
So
she's
yeah, I got
very
a
good at
lot.
what she does.
You did those
see.
yourself?
Yeah,
Everything.
yeah.
Something like, you know,
Hold on a
through the
second.
mirror.
You did those tattoos
on herself.
yourself?
Yes, and then I
That
started
sleeve you
Yeah.
did by yourself?
through the mirror.
Amazing.
And then this hand, I started experimenting with my left hand because I'm a righty.
Okay.
But I can't keep my hand like untattooed when
Right.
my whole body is tattooed. So I
Yeah.
started
Otherwise, it'd
learning.
just be one side.
Yeah, I became ambidextrous.
Doing good.
Well, I picked it because she was pretty.
So where you
Going on
from?
the cover?
Where you
No,
from?
let's see,
Original
let's
Moscow.
see how pretty she. You know what I mean,
Yeah,
How long
I
you had?
mean,
Couple years.
they're going to come to the next party just to see you.
you know that.
I hope you're ready to sign autographs.
Oh, my pleasure.
You might have to tattoo people.
My pleasure.
That'd be
Oof.
nice.
I have a lot of creative ideas.
Do you know how to body paint?
I do. I'm an artist.
you're
I'm an
an artist,
artist.
yeah, right.
So
You-
yeah, I'm
yeah.
not a tattooer. I'm more an artist.
Artist, that's right. we
So
said
it's
that.
all like artistic process. I just get an idea in my head. I take the marker and I start drawing something like whatever I have in my head, and then I take a tattoo gun and start tattooing it.
Frankie's very slick when it comes to the models. He keeps them for himself.
Yes, they're all my-
It's like I go through a process.
I do. I take.
I
care of
never
that.
get to really see them. I see two or three pictures. Oh, this
And
is
that's
enough. I'm like, all right, I get it.
Should be the next issue, and if anybody wants to meet her or interview her for anything else,
The next parties.
she will be once or twice a week with me on Avenue West and 12th Street.
And,
Right, so she'll
and
be
she's-
with me over
and she'll
there.
be in the Mob Candy magazine.
Yes.
I
think May
show too.
and
We
she'll
have
be
her on the show all the time.
So we're here, and we have my mother, Dee DiMatteo.
That's right.
As a guest tonight.
AKA fax checker.
A fact checker, yes. So what are we talking about tonight,
You
Ma?
started with Junior.
Well, let's see what we can talk about.
Well,
started
Nanny,
with the President
you used
Street
to.
Boys.
Yeah, I want to hear the
started.
President
You're
Street
the
Boys.
original, so you gotta tell us.
Well, in my day, women would go out. That's where you get the swag in the houses at the time. Women would go out with big skirts, go into stores, have somebody cover your back and let you know if there's, somebody's walking around, the inspectors. You get it something, one of the clothes you like, wrap it up, stick it between your legs, and you have the cover thing. And you walk out of the store. You dispose of it in the car. You go back for another item.
Oh wow!
So you could do that.
How many of these things can you do?
How do you think he got clothes?
They did smart then. Now they just run in there with a hood on, smash.
Oh, yeah, it doesn't
curse.
even matter now.
You say I can't breathe, and you run out the door.
Yeah.
They just chase you, can't touch it. This way was smart. They go in there, no one saw nothing. You stuck in,
That's
in
it.
between your dress, and you walk down. No one knew better.
Yeah, now
Nice
you can
and
rub.
quiet.
Now
That's
you
how
can
they
rub
are.
up to
They used to call them
$900.
Now, so,
boosters.
yeah.
You never got
Boosters
caught.
or crutch operators.
I don't know.
You
There was
never
a
got-
team of girls going out. They used to drop it at my Aunt Rosie's house. She used to have a room. My Uncle Patty had the studio, the Natoli studio on Columbia Street. And I used to go there and get some swag until I learned what to do.
Wow.
They were
I
called
used to
boosters
shop.
or what?
Boosters, swag operators.
Swag operators. They have
So
an
this was
actual
every
name
day?
for
Whenever
this
you wanted to go
type of
shopping.
operation.
Oh, okay.
You wear your skirt. You get somebody to cover your back and let you know if somebody's watching you.
also
Because
go
there
to the
was
block.
detectives on the block. I didn't like Lambert. I hit him. Detective Lambert, I hit him in Homicide South.
Never liked that detective.
He was a.
I wonder
Yes.
if he has any relatives out these days.
I don't give a shit.
Yeah. He was a nasty.
Wow, talk about holding a grudge.
Yeah.
No, you don't call me in Homicide South and want to question me. You asking me questions, and the next breath you said, well, if you don't tell me, they have pictures of men going out with their girlfriends, and including my guy who was married. And if he cheated on his wife, he's going to cheat on me. And you show me pictures of him going out
Right,
with
but
other
you
girls.
didn't care, Eddie. You knew.
Oh, I do.
Yeah.
I mean, and then you want to tell me, and then you said I could take your kid away, so I went to hit him.
Well, they use all.
But White was
leverage
very
and stuff like
nice.
that.
Detective White was very nice. He understood why I hit him.
Ma, I have a question.
Go ahead, two with him.
Well, this is I'm just trying to understand the time.
Yeah,
When Joey Gallo got killed,
71.
how was your neighborhood? Like, I mean, because obviously you guys were close to that.
It was tight neighborhood. It was still a tight
That was
wait.
that was the
neighborhood.
crew that you
Yeah.
guys were close to.
They were strong
Joey
in that
Gallo.
neighborhood.
Wait.
Yeah.
Okay, so when he got killed, where was that on Broome and Mulberry?
Yes,
Right.
he went out
Moby
for his
and Hester.
birthday. He came
Hester.
out for
Hester.
Mulberry
birthday.
and, Mulberry and
I
Hester.
passed that
Yeah.
place every
The old,
every
Umbertos,
morning.
yeah.
Umberto's.
Umberto's. Now it's something else.
Yeah.
So when did you guys, like that night when it happened? Tell me about it.
We were out in Freeport.
Okay.
She was
My
out
husband
Freeport.
had,
I was in Brooklyn.
He was in Brooklyn. My husband had a yacht club there.
Okay.
We had a yacht club. When we got the news that he got killed, my husband had to come in and stay with Al. And then they says everybody had to stay clear at that time.
Where we all got
ahead.
called onto the block.
Yeah, couldn't go. But he was out in Freeport the time he got killed.
Right. But he got called onto President Street.
So back in the neighborhood, was everybody scared? I mean,
Yeah, they all lay low for
what
the
happened to
longest
the rest
time.
of the crew? They all ran
All
away.
stayed there.
No, everybody went there. Everybody
went
was
on
called
there.
in to
They all
go
stayed in the club.
to go on the clubs. 'Cause we have five clubs on President Street. We owned half the block, so and everything was clubs. So when Blast called everybody down to President Street, like 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock in the morning when they found out Joey got killed.
In
so
74, 75.
he called everybody in. They didn't know what happened, why he got killed, who shot him, nothing like that.
So did they ever find out who the killer
Of
was?
course, they knew. They knew.
They know.
They know a week.
They're gonna have
Who
6
killed Joey
different people
Gallagher?
who did it.
Sonny Pinto.
Sonny
Everyone knows that.
Gerard. Not Gerard. I got Sonny on my mind.
You
I
wrote
don't
a
know if
book
he's dead
about
or
that,
alive.
I wrote
Sonny
the
Pinto?
book.
I
I
just
wrote
asked
the
you the
Hitman.
same question
Right?
about Sonny Gerard. I just
With Mike
said-
Benson?
I'm trying to get him on the phone.
Yes.
He's in
The Hitman, right?
Long
Yes, we did the Hitman.
Florida.
Yeah, he's in
I
Florida.
seen him last year when I went down there. I went to visit him.
Okay.
Right.
And then I said, when I come back down there, you come and see me again. And that was it.
We haven't seen, but we haven't talked to him in a
He
year.
wrote something nice in one of his books. He says, bullets never killed Ricky. His body deceived him.
Yeah.
That was a beautiful
Yeah.
send-off.
Yeah. So tell me about the
Okay,
funeral.
the funeral
How
was
many
at-
days was it? Because back then the funerals were a week, right?
No, it was 2 days.
2 days?
Yeah, 2 days. Guido's on Clinton Street.
And-
It was a pretty big,
What year was that?
71.
72.
72.
72.
72.
Wow.
Yeah. And what happened was then they brought him to Greenwood. Got some famous picture of my father with Blast at the cemetery. That's, working on a book cover
Nobody
with that now.
has.
Wow.
It was sent to him
The
from
son
somebody
of the
from
photographer
Times.
sent it to me. It was really cool.
The son of the photographer.
Yeah.
Of them
And,
two alone.
And the father worked for the New York Times.
Yes. And
How
the
you know it was the FBI?
No, because the son, the father was a famous photographer for the Times. And the son sent it to me. He says, we went to your archive. I saw you on TV, so that's why I found you. And he sent me the picture.
Was there a lot of people there? Because the only reason why I'm asking
Right.
about the funeral is because I saw in the news, I mean, not in the news, on YouTube, I saw when Carmine Galante got killed.
Yeah.
Nobody went to his funeral.
Nobody went to
It
Carmine's
was like
funeral, no.
just his family.
No, it was crowded. It was all the
And
family
No,
there.
there wasn't
a lot of
Carmine.
a
Carmine
lot of
was
people
probably
from
one
the
of the
area,
smallest.
the neighborhood, and all
Said
that.
that, everyone was told to stay away. And
Yeah.
it was like that. No
Yeah,
one
no.
went.
Well, Carmine was they had a small crew there. There was they had a big fighting
family
going
didn't want
on.
anybody there, too.
You know what I mean? He was with all. He had all the zips from
Yeah,
with
from
him.
Sicily, yeah.
It wasn't a big neighborhood that he was in this neighborhood for a while. There was a lot going on. He was in jail for
But
most
not
of the time.
Joey Gallo. Joey Gallo, there was a lot
Joey's-
of people.
Oh,
because the neighbor
A
liked
lot
him.
of fam-
Neighbor people
lot of
liked
family,
him.
too.
The neighbor people liked Joey.
Yeah,
he was
yeah.
good to the neighborhood. With the little old ladies and the men. He was always respectful and good with
We
them.
can- and you know what? That's why this magazine is so prominent. And we could go on for hours. We can make
Yeah.
a million magazines. If we had time,
Yeah.
we would just make a million magazines.
Exactly.
About all this stuff.
But we ain't got no more time. So thank you, everybody, for listening to Mob Candy Magazine. See you next week. Thank you.